Hi, I'm Sean Gale. Welcome back to Sullivan Steakhouse. I'm here with MouthpieceSports.com. My guest once again, Marcus Sullivan, Tim Terrell, Kurt Kittner. Guys, it's time for the best stories that you experience in your playing days. Everyone's got great stories. I know it. I know you do, Tim. I know you
I got
do.
a few. Want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. I like the one, well, it was when I was in college. I used to install carpet, and Jim McMahon was redoing his basement when he had a condo in Northbrook. And my buddy's father was doing the construction work, and he introduced me to him, and I sold him the carpet, and I got to install it. So when I drove to his house, I brought 2 footballs I had in the car that I wanted him to sign when I got there. So I'm all nervous. It's Jim McMahon. It's 1982. I'm going into my senior year, and so I'm wrapping things up, and I'm like, I can't believe I get to do this. And I stand up and I go, Jim, it's nice to meet you. And Nancy, his wife, nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to doing the job. I turned to go to my car, and I'm thinking, as I'm going back, I got the 2 footballs in the car. You didn't sign yet. So I turn around real quick, and I said, Jim, before I forget, would you sign my balls for me? Just like that. And his wife went down to the knee. She was pregnant with her first kid, laughing her butt off. And Jim's like, sure, Tim, you want me to sign your left one or your right one first? I'm like, I got these 2 footballs in the car. So fast forward now, I go through my senior year. I won an award, and we went to the California Bowl and stuff. And he called me up to congratulate me. Think, how cool is that, you know? Jim McMahon called me up, and then now fast forward 2 years. I make it in the pros, and you know this because I met you at the 50-yard line. I was a captain of the Atlanta Falcons. And I run out there, and it's you, Walter Payton, Jimbo Covert, Sean Gale, who was it? Jimbo
Gary
Singletary
Fensick,
and Gary Fensick.
Yeah.
And we shake hands, and I'm like, holy cow, I can't believe I'm here. Shake hands, flip the coin, and I start running back to the sidelines, and I hear this, Timmy! And McMahon's halfway out in the field. He's like, what are you doing here, man? And I said, I made it, man, I made it. And that was cool because, you know, and I heard, because Butler told me, Kevin Butler and a couple guys told me, he said, dude, when we were playing you in '85 and they beat us 46-0 or something, he goes, McMahon was telling us that 2 years ago you're putting carpet in his house and now you're playing, you know, against him. So
there's hope for every man out
that's
there.
it, baby.
There's always hope to make it in this league. Install carpet, be a team captain, NFL. What do you got for us, Marcus?
I got 2. The first one was back in 2002. My grandmother just died, and my grandmother and I were very close. Yeah, October 7th. And I had flew back to Chicago for the funeral. I believe this was like on a Saturday, and we had a game against the Texans on Sunday. So I go back to Chicago for the funeral. You know, it's obviously not the best situation you want to be in. But I had to fly out that Sunday morning to the game. I think I got back into Houston maybe about 11 o'clock, and they drove me right to the stadium. And I'm hustling, trying to get my gear on that game. And I started the game. And I just thought how surreal this was just to be playing. You know, I was just so fortunate for her to see me play in the NFL because, you know, she basically raised me from when I was a kid. Both my parents were in my life, but, you know, I had a special bond with my grandmother. And just crying that day because I was like, man, that's when playing the NFL really hit me. You know, I just came back and played really well. We won that game, and it was David Carr's rookie year. David Carr had about 70 yards rushing that game and about 250 throwing. I was like, this kid's good. But, yeah.
But things change, right?
Yeah, things change, right. Whatever happened to that kid, I don't know. But he played damn good that night. And the second story is it was the same year, 2002. It might have been the end of the season. We were playing Green Bay and Lambeau. And being from Chicago, you know, that's like the stuff. Besides playing in Soldier Field. And obviously Brett Favre was playing, and they were up by like 25 points. They were kicking our butt. And the O-line had already given up like 5 sacks. So I didn't give up any, or maybe one. But Drew Bledsoe drops back for a 7-step drop, and he gets sacked. It wasn't my fault, that one. And I just turn around, the ball's right there, and I pick it up, and I'm looking around. Nobody's around. So I just take off. You know, like what type of opportunity I'm going to get to carry the football in the NFL, being an offensive lineman. So I got a good 10 yards down the field. I thought I put a nice juke move on Nate Wayne, but he clocks me right in the side of the head, and I get up. And I'm just like, man, this is the coolest thing ever. And you know, he helps me. I was like, big man, you all right? He was like, yeah, I think so. I hung on to the ball. And at the end of the game, Brett Favre was like, hey, big man, you all right? You look pretty good running the ball. I was like, thanks, man. You need a tight end? But, yeah, those two, you know, I got a couple other stories, but those were the two most memorable stories.
Yeah, well, the question is, did you need oxygen after you ran that ball? You linemen,
You know
you
what?
guys tire
Fortunately,
easily.
I
I've
did
seen it.
not.
No?
I was good. I was good. You know, I did a good job faking it, but yeah, I didn't need oxygen.
made it happen.
I made it, yeah.
Now, Kurt, most quarterbacks, they don't have major stories. You know, a hangnail here.
Got taped up on this
Yeah,
goalpost.
something minor happened. But give us a story, Kurt.
I got a
Something-
couple. I'm gonna start in college. First of all, I'm 2-0 at the Horseshoe in college. Won twice there.
That's right, baby.
good.
That's Ohio State.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
one of them.
Yeah.
And we beat them pretty good.
did.
My story was in college. We were in the middle of a game week, actually. And the O-line, after practice, myself and the backup and maybe the third string quarterback go in and watch some film. And the O-line is 2 rooms down watching film in their room. So we thought it would be a good idea to go to the water bottle tank, which has these, 12-ounce bottled Dasani waters or whatever, and grab all the ice shavings. So I make like about 4 snowballs or ice balls, put them in my arm. He makes another 4. And we walk in, rip the door open, and just start chucking them at him, hitting Marcus and a bunch of guys that are over 300 pounds. Sounded like a good idea at the time, right? So we start running. You got about 8 guys chasing us around campus, and they're in the back of a pickup truck. I'm hiding in like the dorms, and they caught the backup quarterback. The third string quarterback's like, I'm not doing that.
Smart guy.
They take him back to the field, hog tie him naked around the
Oh, the good old
goalpost.
days.
Yeah.
Around the goalpost. I got away. I hid in the dorms. Just luckily the door was open. Someone just walked in. I followed him in and ducked under a chalkboard. Then I see them running around trying to get me. I turn myself in at the end of the night when I see my backup sitting there basically whimpering, and they shaved my head.
Did they now?
Oh, it looked like yours. And I'm a junior. I wasn't like a freshman. They held me down and shaved my head. Another story was my kind of made it to the NFL moment. My rookie year, first game of the season, we play up in Green Bay. Obviously, grew up in Chicago and saw all those rivalries. We go up there, and I'm warming up with Michael Vick and catching from him, and then Brett Favre walks out, and the crowd just goes nuts. We ended up losing that game, but we came back in the playoffs and beat them in the snow. I was obviously with the clipboard on the sidelines, but it was their first home loss in playoff history, in their playoff history, which was kind of surreal. It's just, you see him he's an icon walking through the tunnel, and it was just a, kind of awe-inspiring moment.